Well, wouldn't you know it? As soon as I went to switch my screen, my fat finger stopped the video. And I'm starting to feel sprinkles. But I'll either put, I'm not gonna, I'll call the first one number 1 and this one number 2 because I'm putting them up right after I'm done walking. Switching over, new rice patties. So there's 2, 4, 6. There's 3 pairs, and then there's 2 long ones in the back. Look at that, isn't that beautiful back there? I know I said I don't film houses, but I love this place here. Anyway, I'm still filming. Oh, big hole. Yeah, anyway, so. Yeah, boy, that breeze really cooled it off. I think normally, what I was saying earlier was normally when I yeah, I already said it. If it's too hot, I'll bag it till the evening or in the morning. But since I've been able to literally laid up for five weeks, 4.5 weeks, okay. 5 sounds bigger, you know. You catch a fish, you know, you always got to tell a fish tail, right? So 5 weeks basically, I was face down, and here. This is what I would call an irrigation canal. Well, it's still a ditch because the canals south of me, that direction, are like, you know, real canals. But you can see it's just starting to, you can see the raindrops hitting the water. That's okay, I don't mind getting wet. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts. You're going to start seeing rain hitting the camera and me. I just want to get up to this one point and turn around, or turn the camera around, because when I went up for surgery and came back, there's a person sitting there, so I don't want to look like I'm filming them. But, okay, swinging the boom here. This lot here was so overgrown that I did not know that green building in the back was there. I had no idea. And it looks either freshly done, because the last time I walked by here, they were working on the roof. So either they were putting a new roof on, or they actually built that in the time that I was traveling for a month, came back for 2.5 weeks, went out, traveled for another 3 weeks, came back for a week and a half, went to Vietnam for like 10 days, came back and was stuck to my bed for 5.5 or 5 weeks. 4.5, okay, I'll just keep it at that. Could not, so they could have built it in that amount of time. If you got a rock star team, you know. Anyway, switching back, hope I don't screw up. So now I'm turning around. I'm still gonna walk on this side of the road because that side of the road, the curb drops off, and with my luck, I'll end up not paying attention. And oh, that was nice. Scaring birds away or something. Anyway, glad I'm deaf in that ear. There's a truck coming. Oh, it's turning into that house that I just commented on. Got ladders on it and stuff, so. But like I said, now I'm walking against traffic because this actually has kind of a shoulder and flat ground to fall into if I decide to be clumsy. But I'll stop while this guy passes me, and then I'll look, and I'll get back on the road. You know, so it just started to trickle. You can still see blue skies, but the rain's coming. I just hope a drop doesn't hit the camera lens. If it does, I'll just wipe it off. But yeah, I may not notice it for 10 minutes. Oh, poor frog. Shouldn't have been there when that car came by. Anyway, if I haven't said it, I hope everybody's doing well. Got a lot of friends that I'm not going to film it. You guys have seen enough bare wires to, you know. Anyway, I have a lot of friends. Here comes a little 3-wheel electric. It's actually going the opposite direction. Anyway, there's people out there that are going through a lot worse than I am. Without a doubt. So sometimes I feel guilty about whining about my eye. Okay? I'll just give you a quick rehash. I'm still going to do a video, an actual dedicated upright video. Okay, once I'm able to be upright on my computer, I'm gonna create a video. You know, my story of how I injured my eye. But the Reader's Digest version is my first day in Vietnam. I tripped myself. Okay? And totally stupid. But I did. I fell down. I was like about the 4th step out of 5 going into the hotel. Literally. Our first destination, which is Ha Long Bay. Okay? So, I'm stepping up the steps. This will be in the other video when I do it, but so it'll be repeat, but that's okay. I'm not going to film down because I'm afraid if I film directly down, the camera will rotate and then I'll have to mess with it. So anyway, I wear Keen sandals, okay? I'm sure you've seen them. And they have a aftermarket or a copy here that's like $40 a pair, which is identical. So I have another pair of these. So, and when they wear out, I'll wear the other ones out. But I'll buy the aftermarket or copy or whatever, and see how they do. You know. But anyway, they have a drawstring. You pull cord, draw cord. You pull that, you cinch that cord up. You slide the keeper down. You pinch the keeper, right? You slide it down to your foot, and it locks that cord in place. So I did that because I know historically, as soon as we get to a hotel where we're traveling, depending on the time of day, we'll get our stuff in the room. And okay, hey, meet in the lobby in what? 15, 20? Yeah, okay, great. So when I was in the van, I cinched up my cords, but I didn't tuck them. Okay? So I usually take the end of it and I tuck it under itself towards my toe. Well, I didn't do that. So here I am walking up the stairs. I got my backpack with my laptop in it, and, you know, big bulky thing, and my big suitcase. And the nice gentleman says, "Can I help you?" And I said, "No, that's okay. I got it," because he had just helped Daz, Chuck, and Paige. Brought all their bags in, and I'm like, I'm good. You know, I'm good. I probably should have said, yeah, sure. It wouldn't have made any difference, because when I stopped on like the 4th step, see a couple cars coming my way. Neighbor. I don't know why the neighbor stopped and handed me a bag. Give me a raincoat, if anything. Anyway, that's odd. Totally lost my train of thought. Okay, I'm walking up the steps, right? And I stopped on the 4th step because I thought, man, I looked to my right and I said, that is a cool looking street scene, right? So I swing my camera to the right, pulled it out of my breast pocket, and filmed just about 10 seconds just of, you know, motorbikes and cars and honking and Vietnamese language signs, you know, change of pace, right? Because I'm in Thailand, live in Thailand. And then I took a still shot as well for a collage or something like that. And then I turned to, I actually like quarter turned, okay, to take the picture, and then came back. And then I went to continue up the last step, literally. And I didn't tuck my cords, baby. My left cord was literally under my right foot. So I went to step up with my left foot, and as you do that, you naturally start to lean in the direction you're going. Well, guess what? My feet weren't moving, or at least one of them wasn't. And I frickin', you'll see pictures, but I hit the ground like a ton of crap. I scraped the hell out of my left ankle and the outside of my left ankle. I mean, it looked really bad. And the inside of my right ankle. So you can just picture that happening, right? And then dude, I'm going backwards. Not forward. I'm going backwards. And I'm going, oh God, this is gonna hurt. And crash. Literally. Laptop in the in the backpack, and crash, and so you're like not landing on your back, you're landing on a big thing of junk, you know. Boy, that sounds bright. And I tumbled. God, I wish there was footage of that. But I tumbled down the steps to the sidewalk, okay? Well, instantly, you know, people were coming out of the woodwork to help me, right? And I'm kind of collecting myself, okay. Oh, and I scraped my elbow too. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm good to go, you know. You know, like you can do, you take inventory, okay, when you fall. Especially I'm looking at the mirror here on the corner to make sure no one's cutting the corner, because they always do. I don't want to get run over. So anyway, wow, I'm gonna take a couple pictures here. Still filming this plant. Come in close on a couple. Take a shot. And then I'm going to go over here and take a couple, like a shot of a trilogy here. Boom. Rotating. And yes, it's still filming. Now ahead of me, where I showed you that one new ditch, the second one that I showed you, there's 3 motorbikes parked on the side on the other shoulder, which I'm going to move to in a minute. Looking back, nothing coming. And I'll be walking whenever traffic's hitting me. Oh, this guy's got a fishing pole in there. There's 4 of them there. Yeah, 4 ties and nice lady smiling. It's kind of like normal. So there's actually 4 bikes here. I only saw the 3 because they're probably wondering, what's this guy doing here? This guy's cut in the corner, so I'm going to go stand with the bike. That was a dude. Sawadee Cup. So, anyway, nice youngsters, I would say. Probably 50 years old. I'm guessing younger than 20. But, so I tumbled down this, you know, I like a heap, okay? A lard ass. Boom, 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 boom. You know, of course, everybody's like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? And then it became the brunt, which I embrace, okay? Oh, you're going to fall again? You're going to fall again? Where's Mitch? Has he fallen again? You know, that doesn't bother me. We meaning Chuck and Daz and various friends, it's just like what you see on the camera is what it's like in real life. Except I swear a lot. But I kind of try to mind my tongue when someone's filming, you know, because they got to edit it out and blah, blah, blah. I look at it from my perspective. It takes me an hour to do something with a 5-minute video. So I just refrain from cursing if I can. Anyway, so I collect myself up and go check in, and they give you your welcome drink, and everybody, everybody was all around me. Are you okay? Are you sure? They got their hands on my shoulder. Are you okay? Right? Yeah, I'm good to go. I just clumsy, you know. What do you say? I'm an idiot, right? Now they're coming at me from both sides. Anyway, that was it. Checked in, got in my room, got settled, changed out of my shirt that I'd been traveling in, put a different one on because I knew we'd be going out and there'd be some filming, so I wanted to have a decent shirt on, right? So when I'm traveling, I wear, you know, cheapo shorts from Walmart, like gym trunks, but they're very inexpensive, and a t-shirt, right? I want to be freaking comfortable. So when I'm traveling, I travel like that, and then I put on my cargo shorts and a decent shirt. We're just gonna mosey around town, mosey around the market. I'm just passing my house right now, but I'm still just gonna keep walking and talking because I have a virus that's called the Babel virus, and we've almost got it under control, but I still have it, and apparently it's contagious. Those who know. Anyway, so no harm, no foul. I'm okay. Yeah, I clean up the wounds, right? The left one I just cleaned up. The right one I cleaned up and put a waterproof bandage on, which I didn't have, of course, but fortunately Chuck and Paige are always ever prepared for the inevitable. They've hooked me up with charcoal, with shit, man, all kinds of different ointments for bug bites, and taught me about coconut oil on kochang, a necessity for kochang because of sand fleas, that kind of thing. But so they're always prepared, and so they hooked me up with that. So I cleaned it up and put that on, because you don't know if you're gonna step in some nasty puddle or something and pick up something or pick something up. Coming down to another road here. Sorry, soy. Anyway, the next morning we took a double-decker bus tour through the town, right? Get the lay of the land. Very inexpensive, and it was only us on the bus, so we're all up on top, and we're driving around, and oh wow, look at that! Hey, look down there. There's market down that way, and we're all taking mental notes, right? And pictures as well. But we're moving. But the thing about this bus was, it picks you up at the hotel and then drops you at the park, way on the other side of town. And we didn't want to go to the park. Okay, I'm not talking like a park like, beautiful ponds, and no, it's a freaking like an amusement park. Okay, I've had enough of those. I can't speak for the rest of the folks, but I certainly didn't want to go. Now, if they wanted to go, this is the beauty of the certain people that I travel with, is, what do you want for dinner? I'm like, I don't care. Where do you want to go? I don't care. It's all new to me, right? Now, if they'd asked, hey, Mitch, do you want to go to the amusement park? I'd have said, fuck no. But I'm easy peasy, right? I'm like, Sawadee Cup. I'm easy peasy, right? I don't give a shit. I'm easy to travel with. You got two people traveling together. It's great. You add a third person, that's another facet, Well, I want pizza. I want steak. I want Thai. You know what I mean? These things start happening. But with this group, especially the Vietnam group, it ain't like that. I don't even have to be in the decision-making process at all, because, rotating back, hey, maybe that's going to my place. Lasada. I'm expecting some ant gel. Anyway, that's for another day. And I'm really off on a tangent, okay? Obviously, in case you haven't noticed. I'm easy to travel with. Put it that way. If we go somewhere and dinner sucks, I might say, that wasn't very good, or I'm not going there again. I'm looking at a lemon tree here. Oh wow! Actually, you guys can see it. It could be a kaffir lime. I'm trying to see if I can see my hand in the. Anyway, there's a round thingy there. Oh man, let me get back to now looking up. I got kind of not dizzy but wobbly, and I'm supposed to keep my right eye open because my doctor keeps reminding me, keep your eye open, keep your eye open, because I just unconsciously close it because it messes with your depth perception, which I've probably said 50 times before or 100, but my left eye's, crystal clear with glasses, and my right eye's not. So I'm like, whoa, is that a step or is that a curb? You know what I'm saying? Like those 1-inch little things in restaurants or your shower and shit like that. That will catch you, man, and bust you up. Just moving forward and stepping down an inch and you're not knowing that 1 inch is there. It's like, holy crap. Jarring, to say the least. Anyway, so we're on this double-decker bus. And then we get a holy crap, I just found I've been driving past this place for a year and a half, and it's a freaking laundromat, a do-it-yourself laundromat. I got no idea. I mean, literally 100 meters from my gate. Usually on autopilot, when you get in the car, get in the truck, get on the bike, whatever, paying attention to the road. Anyway, so we're on this double-decker bus, scoping out what we might want to look at later. And then not we, Chuck and Paige spoke with the driver and said, hey man, you don't have to drop us off at the park. You could drop us off at the hotel. He's like, yeah, no problem, in Thai. But yeah, no problem. So when the bus came back to the hotel, some of the staff came out, and it's like, no problem. We asked him, and he said, they asked, so it's like, okay, they thought the driver, messed up, but no, he didn't. We went back to the hotel, and then we hydrated with agua, water, and then commenced to walking, finding a place to eat, and doing our normal stuff. The following day, we Chuck and Paige, I come downstairs. First of all, hey man, you going to breakfast? I said, nah, because I pretty much stopped eating breakfast. I don't know why. I guess it was just habit. You get up, have breakfast, go to work, right? But I'm not expending much energy. So I'm going to stop here and lean up against this wall that they built me. Very nice of them. And anyway, we're walking around doing our stuff. Eating, having beers, taking foodie shots and video of what I've got thousands of video clips and even more photos that I've never posted. If I just got off my lazy butt and started putting stuff together, I'd have years worth of 30-minute videos, maybe 20-minute. Anyway, so turning around, look the other way because I hear something. But no, going back. I like this. Here, motorbike again. Same lady. Yeah, she didn't have to go far. She wanted to come back and smile at me again. Because I like to smile. I like to smile. Sometimes I look like pensive and withdrawn. People say, I was reading the comments at Oh Dark 30 today when I obviously wasn't sleeping, when I should have been. But I read a comment that says, it was an older comment, right? I was like, why am I seeing that notification now? That was like 2 years ago. And the guy says, I can't help but saying I'm worried about you, Mitch. And blah, 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 blah. And you look sad. Something's off, you know. I really wish I had a copy of it in front of me, because I'd show it to you or read it. But I'm like, and I saw my comment. I says, no, I wasn't sad. I was a little sunburned. It was one of my walking down the dock videos, right? One that, if you look at my channel, it'll say previously released in X, okay? Because when I'm really getting off on a tangent, but when I just say, Sawadee Cup. Nice old lady speaking Thai to me, and I'm just waving because I'm an idiot and haven't learned the language yet. I'm looking like I'm lost, you know, standing here. So I should start walking again. I'll walk back this way. At any rate, it's starting to rain again. Let's get off that subject and back to that second day. We took a private, oh man, it's coming down good now. So I am going to cross into my gate, cover up my lens. Yeah, it's coming down pretty good about now. Now I'm undercover, obviously, as you can see. So we take this boat, and it was just us on this, I don't know, 60 plus footer. It was awesome. That's what Chuck and Paige were trying to arrange when I came downstairs, and they asked me if I wanted to go to breakfast. I said no, and then they went to a place a couple doors down. They had breakfast, sent me pictures, and kind of like where they were in the progress of their meal. And then, so I was like, I messaged Daz, because Daz usually skips breakfast too. I messaged Dad and say, hey, you ready to go out? Yeah, I'm ready. I'm good to go. So we met down in the lobby, and Chuck and Paige were talking to the receptionist and about taking a boat tour. And the early one, we were past that time. And then the next one, we could have caught, but it was 6 hours, and we really didn't want to spend 6 hours on the boat with roughly 100 strangers. So we paid just a little bit extra to take that boat, a private boat. And she says, the lady that we just says, Chuck said, let's just go over to the dock, over to where the boats are, and we'll find someone, and we'll take a boat. And that's exactly what we did. We walked into this travel agent, and you've seen it on Chuck's video, but talks to the lady, and she says, instead of going, oh, it leaves at such and such, she says, when do you want to go? Like, we're like, holy shit, now? Well, 15 minutes, is that okay? Yeah, that's great. So she's on the phone right away. And she said, okay, sit tight. Someone's coming to pick you up. They picked us up, they brought us in, said stand here. And the pilot, or captain, will come and meet you. So we go out on the boat for about not a 3-hour USS Minnow tour, but a 4-hour tour. That's when I noticed my eye was having an issue. So day one, I hit a potted plant with my head on the way down the hill, on the way down the steps. So that's without being able to, pretty much that's what happened. I injured my retina on day 1. And I noticed it a little on day 2. You know how you get floaters in your eyes? I would sometimes look and I'd looking further down, I'd get a floater, like a big one, way down low. And I was like, huh. And then I'm blinking my eyes and I'm taking my glasses off and, oh shit, man, that's weird. Right then, I should have went to the eye doctor. But no, we went on the boat and I'm seeing it more. I'm like, damn, man. And then we go to this island where you gotta hike up quite a ways and then hike down into this cave, go around this little island, right? And then up and out and then down, 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 down. All the while I'm, putting pressure on my eye, because when a lard ass is humping stairs, things get pressurized, right? One of them being your eyes, or 2 of them, because you're exerting, right? Naturally so. But I noticed it really a lot that day, and then just shrugged it off. Didn't, stupid. That's all I can say. So, from there we went to Hanoi, did our thing, and then we went to Sapa, city in the sky. I'll make this real brief. Get up in the morning one day, and we trekked down 1,200 meters into the valley below. There's steps. Okay? And again, I may have said this somewhere, but anyway, we trekked down. Beautiful. Lots of markets, lots of snacks, lots of real meals. All the tourist kind of stuff that you've come to expect. But man, we had a blast. And then we trekked our way out. And the next day, Chuck was like, man, I really want to take that cable car up the mountain and then hike up to the temple. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in. And Paige was in. Daz stayed back because of his knee, which he's mentioned before. He said, no, man, you guys, I see no purpose in spending all this money to go up and see nothing because I'm in the clouds. Just cracked me up. But he walked with Chuck, Page, and I up to the place where you take a little cable train up a little bit. Then you get off this train and then you walk through these beautiful flowered gardens. And then you walk over and you catch the cable car up. And then you're literally almost instantly in the clouds. And we get to the top of where it lets you off, and it says, it had an arrow and it said 350 steps. I went, oh shit, that's nothing, right? So Chuck, he's stepping it out because he's in great shape. And Paige, she could really crush your soul because she could run up those freaking stairs. Okay. But, they're going up and I'm just pacing myself. But then I was counting, right? And I got to 350 and I said, they were lying on that sign. It's more than 350. Chuck laughs and we continue on. And we're, now, after my body adjusting to sea level, for crying out loud, for the last, going on 4 years, going up that mountain, I was starting to feel it, the oxygen. Not just being out of shape and not having not been walking as much as I was and stuff. But the oxygen, my thighs were starting to burn, you know? Like when you see these Everest, now this is in no way, I'm not comparing this to, you know, trying to summit Everest, but it's the same principle. Same, but different, right? They'll take one step and catch their breath, right? And then they'll take another step and catch their breath. Well, I'm taking 10 because I said, okay, I'll do 10 and then I'll stop. Because my leg, by about 10 steps, my legs would start like burning, like oxygen deprivation right there. So I said, I'll let my body catch up a little bit, maybe 20 seconds. Well, 85-year-old women are fucking running by me. Talk about humiliating. Anyway, so like 10 steps at a time, I'm going up this mountain, and or to the temple, and you know, Chuck and Paige would wait for me at the next tier, and then it's flat, so you can, you know, step it out, and then you find the other stairs because you're walking in the mist, right? So you're kind of looking, trying to see the signs and stuff. Anyway, we finally make it to what they call the highest point in Indochina, right? It's got this pillar and it says it on there. It says how many meters you are, which when you do the calculations, it was like 10,000 and X feet, which for me in the day was nothing. Because in Washington State, you know, you're constantly going over, to go hiking or camping or whatever, you're at 4,000 or 5,000, 6,000 feet. It was nothing. But I was younger too, right? A lot younger. And so, but anyway, we make it up there and we're happy. And then it's gravity, man. I'm good with gravity when I'm not falling down. So I'm what we call monkey walking, where you kind of bounce back and forth and use your legs as shock absorbers, not your knee. Don't straight leg it. Use your muscles, right? Suspension. Because otherwise, my guide we had to hire in Nepal when I was trekking 50 years ago said you get machine gun leg. Your legs will just start shaking. And then you can't walk, literally. So make sure you bend your knees when you're stepping down, stepping down, stepping down. He say monkey walk, monkey walk. He's like this, monkey walk, monkey walk. So I've always monkey walked after that when I go down. And the further we got down, the obviously the more oxygen uptake and all this stuff. And I'm, a few times from up there, I'm texting Daz, and I said, dude, you win a gold star, baby. You made the right frickin' choice, man. I am one hurting unit. I am frickin' tired. And the view was quite foggy. And he's laughing back. And yeah, man, I'm sitting here drinking a coffee, and he sends me pictures and shit. And I'm like, thanks, buddy, for rubbing it in. But anyway, so I call it the trifecta. I fell down, whacked my head. At that point, truly believe that's when I injured my eye. Number 2, I had a serious head cold, like impacted, no matter how hard I blew my nose, and even the drops or spray that Chuck, without me asking, brought me, and pills to help with it. It kind of made relief, but it still didn't kick it out. So my head was clogged. So I'm blowing hard enough to make my eardrum rattle. So I said, I'm not blowing anymore. And then I exerted a lot of energy going up that mountain. And that was strike 3, I believe. So Sunday night, we're in Hanoi, and the next morning we're flying out. And it's like we all kind of collectively deduced from various people's friends' experiences and such, and Google. Yep, you detached your retina. You've got a detached retina. You shouldn't fly, number one. But, you know, I'm pretty stubborn. And they pressurize the cabins at 8,000 feet. So, thereabouts. And especially on the shorter flights. Now, on longer flights, they sometimes make it like 9,000, 9,500, because that helps put the passengers to sleep. Okay, little trade secret there. Anyway, so I elected flying back to Bangkok in the morning, and I had a 4-hour layover. So I'm on the horn, on the phone. I first called my Bangkok hospital, Chiang Rai, where I've received care. That's where my orthopedics guy is. And, we don't have an eye specialist. Try this number. So I try this number. And yes, we do. Yeah. I says, I believe I have a detached retina. Do you have somebody there that could, operate on that? And he said, yeah, absolutely. I said, great. When can I get in? And she says, well, he's booked 10 days out. Oh my God, I'm going to be blind by then. Anyway, so I spent 3 hours trying to get a bloody appointment or find somewhere that could get me or take me, and nothing. So the next morning, I ended up calling the hospital down in Payao, which is about an hour from here, and said, hey, do you have an eye specialist that can see me today? Oh, if you get here by, I think it was 8:30 or 9, we can see you. And I was like, yee-haw. So I get there, they dilate my eyes, they take me right in, and dilate my eyes, do the thing. And she says, yes, you have a seriously detached retina. I said, great, when can you operate? And she says, oh, we don't do that here. I'm going to have to refer you. And guess what? The first place she mentioned was the one in Chiang Rai. And I says, nah, they're 10 days out. I spoke with them yesterday. So she says, well, there's Chiang Mai. They have 21 on staff that can operate on your eye. I said, yeehaw, refer me. So she's typing and calling at the same time, handing me a piece of paper to give to him. And when I get there, and I'm not supposed to be driving, but I don't know that at this point, I drove up to Chiang Mai, which was another 2.5 hours from Payao. Anyway, the rest of the story will come later. But that's it for now. The rain stops, so now I can walk into my house without a big old thing of water coming off the roof and hitting me. All right, I hope you made it this far. I appreciate you watching. Talk to you later. Bye.